Hi, I'm Lynn Bradburn. No, it's me again, Tom. You know, we tried to shoot that video 4 different times, and she just decided that there was no way that she could do it. The bottom line is she's camera shy. So she did write some thoughts down, and so I'm going to just so I don't take this out of context, I'm going to give you her perspective on what it looked like within our organization in the year 2005. PEO Man was a company just like any other construction-based company. In '05, it was thriving. The biggest difference, I think, for us that she found was that we were above average in our industry from profitability. And really, what caused that was that I was very intentional about serving our clients and making sure that they were very successful in meeting their needs over ours. And what she captured here was sometimes that kind of success can be the driving force of who you become. For PEO Man, excellence and perfection became Tom's standard, and over-delivering became our norm. And I think that that really put our employees inside the organization at a disadvantage. She went on to say, but just like anything, when it becomes greater than expected, it consumes your life, and the business had sucked the life right out of Tom. He had created a monster hidden extremely well from the outside world. You got to love the honesty of your spouse that actually sees things. You know, life is understood looking back, but it's definitely produced living in the moment today. And so, with where the economy and our possibilities were headed, only God could rescue this one. Tom had set the bar years ago, saying that if we ever hit $150,000 a week in billing, that would be our enough. Well, as you can imagine, that had come and gone, and we were doing close to $500,000 a week now and still growing. The pursuit of keeping the bar just out of reach for all of us was what was driving the company for Tom. So when Tom asked when enough is enough, don't for a minute think that God didn't step in and force his hand. Again, you got to love the honesty of your spouse. Here's where the dynamics changed in our business. In January of 2005, my best friend that I grew up with died suddenly. His mom called me and told me that he died. Very shortly after that, my dad died. And Lynn said that she could remember me coming to her saying I wasn't going to do this anymore, that relationships were the key thing, and God had given us these employees and our family, and yet I was ignoring everything for the sake of the client. And so I made a decision that enough was enough at that time, and I wanted to focus on the relationships that were in our circle. And that's really when I owned the key phrase that I told my employees a couple of years before that I said, without them I didn't exist. Well, this is when the time came that I really intentionally did a thing that basically said, I work for you, you no longer work for me, and I will do everything I can to make you successful. And Lynn wanted me to understand that there was 3 things that she learned during that time before we sold our business in 2007. And so here's her 3 things. Profit comes from intentionally caring about the success of those God places in your path over your own. I think she's seen that because we always paid attention to our clients, and therefore our profit was way over the industry standard because we were intentionally making them more successful. And when I did that with our employees and let them focus on the clients, our in-house, they started to love their job instead of just do their job, which made them overperform in their jobs. The second thing that she noticed during that time that God revealed to her was don't spend what you don't have, human or financial capital. I thought that was kind of interesting. I think too many times we do spend what we don't have. We risk what we're not given by God to risk, is other people's investments and other people's money and other people's resources for the sake of our dreams. And I think that that was something that God revealed to her after watching what we did. And the last one was keep your promises. Your word today creates tomorrow's future. You know, by all that happening and me keeping in task with that, she was totally convinced that had God not stripped me of my best friend and my father, I would have still been sold out to the fact that I could build this organization the way that I wanted to instead of the way God needed me to. And she believes with all her heart, mind, and soul that when the opportunity came to sell it at the start of 2007, I wouldn't have. And we'd have been totally broke by 2009. And still today in 2013, we are living off the proceeds of that sale. So here's a little thought we captured. Keeping your promises to God and trusting Him for your future results is your tomorrow. Trusting in yourself and thinking God someday only causes us to have a crossroads of destruction. So that's the question. And I want to say thank you, Lynn, for all your wonderful thoughts. And again, I love my spouse. I love the honesty of her. So the reality of what she put in here was, sometimes I think that I like to portray myself as this unbelievable, obedient man of God. And the truth is, I'm just like anybody else. I am in the moment, and I'm pursuing the things that I need to, or I feel that I want to and need to. And sometimes they're not the things of God. And so He has to do things specifically in my life to get my attention. So thanks, Lynn.